Hey guys, it's Britt. Welcome back. Today we're going to talk about is central bank digital currency coming to the United States? And first, we need to ask, well, what is central bank digital currency? Essentially, it's electronic currency, very similar to Bitcoin and some of the cryptocurrencies we've probably heard about in the media. The issue here is there is a major difference between Bitcoin and central bank digital currency, and that major difference is centralization versus decentralization. No one authority controls Bitcoin, but when it comes to central bank digital currency, the central bank, meaning the government, controls that. And that's a major problem because with central bank digital currencies, the government would be able to determine whether or not you can spend that digital currency, whether you can even access your account or not. They'll have total control over it. You'll lose all privacy and control over your currency in a central bank digital currency system. They'll be able to track everything you spend your money on. They'll be able to cut it off, similar to what we saw in Canada with the truckers and when their bank accounts were shut down. So unlike today's system where we use electronic payments, you have a bank and the banks are dispersed. They can do this to a degree if you're not using cash where they can track what you're doing, but with central bank digital currencies, the bank's going to get cut out. You'll have an account directly with the central bank, and the central bank again will control that. So they're going to have complete control over your life if that happens. As we've seen in China is rolling out portions of the system, and they have a social credit score system that gives you points based on whether or not you're compliant with what the government wants. So when the central bank digital currency system rolls out, every government in the world is going to want to do the same thing. They're going to say, oh, you donated to this political cause? We don't like that. You can't go in that area. You can't spend outside of this 50-mile radius of your home for the next 30 days as a penalty until you stop doing what we don't want you to do. So you're going to lose all privacy, all control over your financial life if such a system like this is developed. And so, is that in the works? Well, we have this recent article here. This is from June 17th. It says Jerome Powell says central bank digital currency being examined. Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell snuck in mention of a dystopian digital currency system during a speech at a June 17th conference. Rapid changes are taking place in the global monetary system that may affect the international role of the dollar in the future. I didn't see any elaboration on that of what specifically he may be thinking about, but there's definitely signs that the dollar is having problems. That the dollar is, we have a broken international currency system right now. And I think that's what gives rise to these later remarks. He says most major economies already have or are in the process of developing instant 24/7 payments. Our own FedNow service will be coming online in 2023. And in light of the tremendous growth in crypto assets and stablecoins, we are examining whether a U.S. central bank digital currency would improve upon what is an already safe and efficient domestic payment system. As our white paper on this topic notes, a U.S. central bank digital currency could also potentially help maintain the dollar's international standing. Now, if you remember a few months ago, Joe Biden signed an executive order that said that they would look into the development of central bank digital currency, and it had all of these provisions for how we would study it, and they would put together committees. They've already been doing this. As Powell admits here, the FedNow service is set to come online in 2023. So this stuff has been in the works for a while. It looks like they're probably going to roll it out next year. And if it takes over, if this replaces cash, currency that you physically hold in your hands, if it replaces banks and debit cards as we know them now, we're going to lose all privacy and I think we're going to lose all freedom. And so, is this coming? Well, I think it's inevitable. And here we're going to go. We're going to look at this is the End Times Bible Prophecy newsletter from March 2021. So this was a little over a year ago. The title of that was Central Bank Digital Currencies and the Coming Global Enslavement. Because once these systems roll out, that's essentially what's going to happen. All freedom will be gone. We're going to scroll down here and read this section on why central bank digital currencies are inevitable. And I think they are. If you read this first paragraph talks about basically we're already on the road to that anyway with the use of debit cards, credit cards, these Apple Pay systems. You've seen over in Europe some people have actually put RFID chips in their bodies so that they can pay at work, at the vending machine, and things like that. We've already seen this move away from cash on the basis of convenience. And, people don't like to lose cash. There's various reasons, but there has been a shift over the last several years and decades toward using electronic currencies in those forms. And so the stage has already been set for a central bank digital currency to move in there. But I think it's inevitable as well for some of these reasons. So here it says, even if people don't voluntarily choose cashless payments, paper currency will disappear anyway. This is because new technologies will make it impossible to prevent counterfeiting. 3D desktop printing technologies will soon create objects where every molecule is perfectly positioned. Now keep in mind, this is way different than taking your printer and putting a $100 bill on it and trying to print it. The paper that the central banks use to print notes on is a special type of paper. They have all these security features in it. It makes it more difficult for people to counterfeit. That's all going to go away as we develop technologies that allow every single molecule to be put in place. And it says here, with such technologies, counterfeiters will flood the world with perfect copies of every national currency. No one will be able to tell the difference between fake currency and real currency. When that happens, both the fake and the real will be worthless. World governments won't have a choice. They'll quickly do away with all physical currency, and all economic transactions will go digital. The replacement will be either a series of central bank digital currencies or a single central bank digital currency for the whole world. And make no doubt, they will do this with glee. They'll look forward to this because of the control that it will give them. Now, think most people will reject central bank digital currencies? While I hope so, I think it's highly unlikely. Governments will make sure adoption is quick and easy. They'll simply launch a campaign to come claim your digital wallet. Here it is. Don't you want to get it? Well, it's got $10,000 in there. All you have to do is come claim it. So to incentivize people, they'll provide an initial deposit. Maybe it's $10,000. Maybe it's $20,000 or $30,000. Whatever it takes to get you to claim that wallet. And once everybody is on board, they'll eliminate the paper currency and other options for payment of goods and services. Your bank account will go away and you'll have one account with the central bank. Just one account. And the result will be government-controlled economic system based on central bank digital currency. So, just think about how close we are to this now and what, they need some sort of crisis. The next crisis that comes up, they'll launch this because, again, this gives them massive control, not just over people, but over the currency. For, the central banks, when they like to mess with interest rates and do all these different, they call them tools to fine-tune the economy. Are we entering recession? People need to spend more. Well, if they have control over your account, they could say, well, any cash in this account, any currency not spent by this date will begin losing 5%, 10% by that date. And they'll be able to incentivize you to go out and spend when they want you to spend. And they'll be able to incentivize you to save when they want you to save. So And that way they think they can control the economy. That will be their thought, and one of the reasons why they push for this and are pushing for this. Powell's talking about this in 2023. What could be one of the ways that we see people buying into this? Well, think about the current food crisis. If you go back and look at one of the videos we did before, there's a global famine coming. There's not going to be enough food to feed the whole world in 2023. And so people are already seeing the prices at the grocery store go up because of lack of food, because of printing of currencies. But what the first thing that politicians are going to do when they feel that their jobs are in jeopardy is to hand people cash and to say, because of these high grocery prices, we need to send $1,000 a month to every man, woman, and child. And this will make it very easy for them to do that. Just credit your central bank account, right? And so if people are in a position where they go, well, I can either claim this money and eat, or I can reject it and not eat, the decision's going to be rather simple for a lot of people. And once they bring enough people into that system, well, we're all stuck in it. There's no way out. It's this is how they're going to take away freedom. This is how we're going to end up with, I believe, a global system. Why do I believe that? Well, if we turn and look at what the Bible says in Revelation chapter 13, verses 16 through 17, he required everyone, small and great, rich and poor, free and slave, to be given a mark on the right hand or on the forehead. And no one could buy or sell anything without that mark, which was either the name of the beast or the number representing his name. So this passage is talking about the Antichrist and the mark of the beast that he's going to require. And this mark of the beast, we don't know yet what form it's going to take, how it's going to be implemented, but when it is, no one will be able to buy or sell without the permission of the Antichrist. So this is going to be a global system, worldwide. And what we see with this rollout of central bank digital currencies and what we've seen with electronic payments from the past, all of this stuff, it's building the foundation and the platform for this mark of the beast system that we see here. And we've seen some of this roll out in not the mark of the beast system itself, but what visions of what it may look like. Again, the Canadian truckers, when they did what Justin Trudeau and the Canadian government didn't like, they found their bank accounts shut down. We see in China with the social credit system and what they're doing. We've seen with vaccine passports. In Europe, there were some people that were embedding their vaccine passports into RFID chips that they implanted under their skin on their right hand. Just like this says, I'm not saying that specifically is the mark of the beast, but it establishes this habit, this thought. It conditions people to accept this type of system, and it establishes the prelude, the forerunner to this mark of the beast system, which is going to roll out. So guys, this is just another sign of the season we live in, the times we live in. Jesus said, when you see all of these signs converging, when you see them all coming together, look up, your salvation draws near. And I think we're living in those times right now, guys. There's a reason I'm rolling out these videos almost every day now, and it's because it used to be there were a handful of signs here and there 30 years ago, and then 20 years ago there were some more. Now we're getting to a point where the news is filled on a daily basis with events like this, news stories like this that point to the convergence of these signs and the rollout of the signs that Jesus and the prophets said to look for. That means we're in the season of his return. Jesus is coming. I don't know when, but we need to get prepared. So if you don't know Jesus, now is the time to come to know him. And guys, thanks for joining me today. Make sure to like this video, share this video so that other people know about this, and God willing, we'll see you next time. Thanks. If you want to learn more about the end times and Bible prophecy, make sure to sign up for my free monthly newsletter and get your copy of my free ebook, 7 Signs of the End Times. Just follow the link in the description to get your free book. Also, make sure to check out all of my books. Just look up Britt on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Apple iBooks, Google Books, Kobo, or anywhere books are sold. Thanks for watching today, and until next time, keep your eyes fixed on Jesus, the author and perfecter of our faith.